Hey, it's Naveed from Florida. I just want to say I'm going to be so mad if Michael Bradley is really going to Toronto. I don't understand. Like, he should be playing in the Champions League right now. This is ridiculous. That's a cry. Bye.
You sure you're ready for this?
I'll do my best.
Your best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and the prom queen.
Welcome to the best soccer show. The best soccer show in the whole world.
Here we go. Best soccer show, North American Soccer Network, NASN.TV. We are live. We are live. We are with you. It is an amazing Wednesday evening. Naveed from
Straight out of Jersey.
Straight out of Jersey. Naveed from Florida is going to cry, Jared. But I think we have to get to our top story right off the bat. The top story tonight, the birth of Asbury Park FC, run by a couple of our... No, I'm kidding. Of course not. Congratulations to Asbury Park FC.
I look forward to film of grown men playing soccer in the snow in Jersey.
I think they're going to look good while they're doing it.
But they're going to have the best rec league kits you've ever seen in your life.
Absolutely. Of course, the lead stories. We don't even have time for our normal what's happening in our lives pattern, Jared. We can't even... You were just telling me a story about an exploding Velveeta package on your shipping line.
It was my nightmare. It was my nightmare.
Cheese and Jared would normally be the headline story, but today, your world has been flipped upside down again. Let me say this again, because Michael Bradley, by all accounts, by the reporting of people we trust, is on his way to Toronto FC in a stunner.
I think in terms of American soccer stories, this is the biggest, or just not even American soccer, this is like the biggest love-hate move since Johnny lifted baby over his head in the Catskills. I mean, you have the most amazing, sexy thing ever going on, yet it's like it's so advanced and before its time that you wonder, is this even like allowed?
And over the next hour, we are certainly going to delve into all of your psychological responses to this news that Michael Bradley is not only coming back to MLS, he's coming back to TFC, and he's doing it at 26 years old while he's playing for Roma. And it's going to be an interesting night. Area code 480, you're on the air. Who's this?
Oh, hi, I'm JC in Bellingham, and, I'm just confused on what I really feel about this. I mean, as an MLS fan, as general, I don't really have a club, but as a fan of the league, I'm happy that they're making the step. But, as a fan of the national team, I'm just cautious and puzzled about why he do this. I mean, it's obvious he has to leave Roma because of just, the midfield depth they have at playing time, but there surely have to be other, European offers. I mean, beyond Roma bloggers online and, scapegoat hunting Roma fans. I mean, people perceive his quality there, but, you also can't blame him. Triple salary at TFC. It's just a weird move, and I just want to hear your thoughts on the move.
Appreciate the comment.
Did he say triple salary? I think it's more than triple.
It's actually 5.5 or 6 times his salary.
Yeah. If you believe the reports that are out there, be somewhere in the neighborhood of $6.5 million.
And I don't know, by the way, dropping...
He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
I'm dropping that tonight. That's my debut drop for Mr. He does have a drop on the sheet, by the way.
Is it Smooth Operator? Is that his?
It is Smooth Operator. Now, I guess the question will be, can Michael Bradley hang on to the Smooth Operator tag while playing for Toronto FC?
It's kind of hard to be a Smooth Operator on turf. I'm just guessing.
No, there's no turf up there. They're grass now.
Oh, that's right. They did go grass, huh? They got one thing going for them. They got one. Okay, similar to Chivas last year. I don't know what this means. I don't know if it's going to turn a team around. All I know is that I'm damn interested in what TFC's doing. And absolutely. I mean, this is why Lewicki was brought in the first place. And I wonder, does Lewicki have vengeance in his heart for LA and the other big teams in MLS?
My question was, did Tim Lewicki learn black magic, or was he born into it? Because all hail Tim Lewicki. If this is happening, if Jermaine Defoe is happening, by all accounts, Gilberto is going to score some goals in Toronto. It's going to be a fascinating time.
I kind of feel like my boy Tim got lucky, though. Because, listen, he's making grand promises. Okay. And up until this week, when a Belgian comes to town in Roma, it doesn't look like Michael Bradley has to go anywhere just yet. Bradley wasn't the thing he was out there. He just knew he had a nugget of cash, and he was going to try to bring something in.
I don't know. This show's not about us, though. Remember, 541, you're on the air.
Hey, guys, it's Casey from Oregon. Thanks for taking my call.
What's up?
I'm really excited to watch Toronto FC, but I love the U.S. men's national team, and I'm kind of nervous that 5 of our starters aren't going to be playing in very big games and big atmospheres going into the World Cup. And then Josie's kind of not playing that much at Sunderland right now. A lot of our guys, besides Jeff Cameron and Tarundolo and Chandler, are the only guys that are starting and playing in big atmospheres, and I'm kind of worried about that going into playing Ghana and Portugal and stuff. What do you guys think?
Casey, let me give you one more alternative, Casey. What do you think if by the end of the month, both your starting midfielders for the U.S. national team could be in MLS? Jermaine Jones might be here. Does that really make you hit a panic button, or is it better for Jermaine Jones to get consistent minutes here than overseas?
Oh, there's no doubt it's better for both of those, Bradley and Jones, to be playing, but they're not going to be playing at that high of a level and stuff. So it's kind of, I'm nervous about that. They're not going to be playing week in and week out against top competition and stuff. I get it, they're battling for spots, but in Europe, and they'll automatically be starters in MLS, but it just kind of makes me a little nervous and edgy,
I can appreciate the sentiment. Thanks for the call, Casey. I can appreciate the sentiment, and I get why people are nervous about this. And the same thing happened when Clint Dempsey made the jump from Tottenham. There were the same questions were raised, and it's pretty clear we're all conflicted. And here's the thing that's come out today, and again, it came out during the Dempsey thing as well. If you want MLS to get better, you cannot have a double standard about them attracting players like Michael Bradley just because he's a national teamer. You can't have it both ways. MLS is flexing their muscle, and good for them. Just because he's Michael Bradley and he plays for the national team, it's like, well, this is a bad thing. Well, okay, but again, we have to get better as a league.
And I know we have a caller on the line, but I just want to read this tweet along that same lines while you brought it up. This is from Steve Sirk. So the MLS needs, quote-unquote, better players crowd is once again decrying the signing of better players because MLS isn't, quote-unquote, good enough for better players.
Yes, no, it's circular logic and it's fun. And it's fun in a very disturbing way. MK Develos is on the line. What's up, man?
Hey guys, big fan of the show. I wanted to ask your opinion. Do you think that we're ready as a national team program to have our 3 of our 4 top players playing our domestic league? I think we're going backwards. I mean, I love MLS with a passion.
Whoa. Why are we going? How does that imply that we're going backwards?
Because before in the past we had all of our players playing in
because they didn't have the opportunity to play somewhere else.
Absolutely agreed, but I think that with the fact that only our top goalkeeper is the way we had with Friedel and Keller playing in the EPL, playing abroad. I mean, I love MLS so damn much. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, let me ask you a question. And again, I think these fears are natural and understandable, and I'm not gonna say they're completely wrong, but I'm still of the opinion that coming to MLS does not immediately make you a bad player. And it does not immediately ensure that you're going to regress as a player. Here's the thing about the Michael Bradley situation. If there's one guy in that entire setup I trust to be consistent day in and day out, no matter where he's playing, whether it's here or Azerbaijan or whatever, it's Michael Bradley. I know what kind of player Michael Bradley is. I know how good Michael Bradley can be in that U.S. men's national team setup. That part I'm not overly concerned about. I'm more concerned, and we've talked about this, Jared, the whole psychological aspect of it for a national team fan is you want your best players flying the flag. You want those guys, and why do we care? But that's the other question. Why do we care? Why do you care?
Me or the caller?
Personally, the way I care, because today I looked on Twitter, I see young players like Amobi Okugo writing out we're sending an open tweet saying, Bradley, you're an inspiration. You're flying our flag abroad. Don't come home too soon, essentially. And that's kind of, and I feel that when we have our best players, I mean, Bradley's one of the best players in Serie A right now, one of the best midfielders in the league. And I love MLS, but I don't see it as if he's challenging himself enough. And that's what Klinsmann wants. He wants us to all challenge the players.
Isn't Michael Bradley good enough? Don't we know that he's good enough?
That's what I'm saying. Again, I think if he was 30, it would be a different response. And I think that people came to accept what Clint Dempsey decided to do, partly because of his age. The issue with Michael Bradley is that you still see him as in his prime. And again, flying the flag in Europe. And he was the guy. If anybody was going to make that Champions League leap and get back, and not PSV and not Rangers, but a real. It was him.
This was like, to me. Remember when Ashton Kutcher was everything that you could be? He was handsome, rich. I mean, he had everything going for him. And he gets married to Demi Moore, and you're like, it's too early, son. You got so much left to do. There's so much in those genes that you can play with. You need to wait.
But then again, Ashton Kutcher, he spread his wings again. It ended with Demi. He spread his wings again. He's back out. I saw photos of him at some wrestling meet with the chick from that 70s show. Whatever.
So does this mean the door is closed on Bradley's European career? That part of his life is done?
I don't think it is. I mean, I don't think you come here like he's getting paid. We're gonna have a phone call on the line. I'll get to it in a second. He's getting paid. He's playing in a league that has improved. I'm not going to judge the man's life choices. He's making them for his own reasons. You know, I think it's strange that we live in such a black and white world when it comes to sports. If Michael Bradley leaves Roma, it automatically means he's giving up or he's quitting or somebody used the phrase pussied out, which I hate, by the way. That's ridiculous. That does not take into account all of the reasons Michael Bradley might have made this decision. Again, you can disagree with him coming back or be upset with one of the best American players or the best American player coming to MLS before MLS is a top league in the world. But don't judge the man and call him, and say that he quit because you don't know why he left Roma. And it's not about quitting when you're making $6.5 million to play in, an improving league that is attracting these guys. They're paying attention. There's something happening here. 703 Nova, you're on the line. What's up?
What's up, guys? It's Andrew here from Virginia. I just wanted to chime in and agree with you there that, Mike Bradley coming home is not a bad thing. It's, going to bring people to watch more MLS, especially those Euro snobs. I hate to label him like that. But it's also, he's still a young guy at 26. I mean, look at Mexico, too. A lot of their national team plays at home. In the past, they've always played at home. They've earned well, and it's not the end of the road. 2 years from now, if a big European club wants to jump in, pull him away, and see that he kicked ass at a World Cup, so be it.
Yeah,
but it's good for him, good for his family. He's earning 4 to 5 times now more than he did before. So he's going to live.
Which makes Michael Bradley was underpaid to begin with.
Thanks for calling, Andrew. Appreciate it.
That's what I learned today.
He was underpaid. He was undervalued, and again, that may be a factor as well. I mean, if Michael Bradley is at Roma fighting for time, they sign a new midfielder just this week, and he sees his salary and goes, "Well, look. No one's respecting me here. I know what I can do. Why not take a shot back home in MLS?" And I know he's going to Canada, and it's not exactly home, but why not take a shot back in MLS? And Canada. Be part of what is happening here. Because, again, it's growing. 682, you're on the line.
Yeah, it's Jeff from Fort Worth.
What's up, man?
So, okay, so I think everyone's going to have mixed reviews on this is best for Michael Bradley. But how about let's talk about this from, a U.S. soccer perspective. You mentioned earlier that this is 6 times his salary from Roma. So that tells me that when it comes to these star players, the MLS is overvaluing our best players.
Whoa. Okay, yes, they're paying a premium because he's American and because he's got cachet here. Okay, that's true. So he's paying more here than he might somewhere. But don't you think that paying Michael Bradley $1.1 million at Roma is undervaluing him by a significant amount?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, agreed. So I'll play the American card too, that I think some of our guys don't live up to their value in Europe because they're American. So it works both ways. But let's say that again, Bradley is as good as we think that he is. He does great at Toronto. He has a great World Cup, and people come knocking. Can he get a job in Europe with the salary that apparently is 6 times bigger than what people wanted to pay for him in Italy? Is this best long?
Let me ask you a question then, okay? Because this is rumored to be in the same neighborhood, transfer fee wise or salary wise, as what Sunderland offered for Bradley a few months ago. Would you rather him being at Sunderland in the Josie paradigm or in Toronto, where he's going to see minutes in his home country? Which is the better move for him there?
That's a good question. I've thought about this same thing this evening. I'm just. Okay, I'll take Toronto, but back to my original point, is this best in the long term for U.S. soccer when our best guys are staying here we're like what it tells me is they're not getting the same. Apparently, the rest of the world doesn't think they're at the same value as what we do. Is it best in the long run for our best guys to all be here because we're willing to pay them more?
What's wrong? Thanks for the call. What's wrong with an American guy coming to the American League and making good money to do it, helping that league advance, giving that league a better perception? What's wrong about? I mean, again, I understand that Michael Bradley in MLS is a jarring thing for a lot of people. It's jarring for me. I'm dealing with it.
It's equally jarring to me, if not more, than the Dempsey move.
Oh, it's more jarring than the Dempsey move. Again, he's 26. We did not see this coming. Look, again, there are plenty of negatives you can pick out, but I think that they are matched on the other side by an equal number of positives. And again, if Michael Bradley goes to the World Cup, here's the problem, and I saw Alexi Lawless tweet this earlier, and I'm sure other people have as well. If they go to the World Cup, this U.S. men's national team, which is going to have a bunch of MLS players in it now, and they fail, it's going to be because of MLS. But if they go and they succeed, then it's probably going to be, it's
the laziest critique you can make of the World Cup team this summer, and it could be true. I'm not saying it can't be true, but it's going to be the laziest critique and crutch that anyone wants. Basically, MLS and the American U.S. national team has found every reason for all the haters to focus on MLS as a poor league and a poor device for creating talent or sustaining talent.
Let's just forget that they're in the group of death. Let's just forget that.
But on the flip side of that, MLS has made amazing moves this year.
Look, I mean, if you want MLS again, I suppose 917, you're on the air. Hold on 1 second. I suppose if you are a fan of the national team, you can completely separate MLS out and say, well, I don't really care what happens with MLS.
Oh, I'm completely two minds.
No, I find that to be a very strange attitude if that is your attitude. But I think most of us, being MLS observers and boosters and fans and wanting it to improve and believing that MLS getting better is intrinsically important to the national team, not that MLS owes the national team, just that the league getting better will help the national team, can see both sides of this. And that's why, we're all two-faced right now. Area code 917, you're on the air.
How's it going? This is Kevin. This is all about respect and disrespect. Look at Josie. He's running away at a very substandard club at Sunderland, even if he's getting paid. What exactly are players in Europe supposed to show? Are they trying to get the respect from the Europeans? Or are they actually trying to get some money? I'd say that Bradley has been treated very badly. He's being cast aside for some guy who's just basically a bunch of hype, and this keeps happening to Americans. So it's much better to just bring everybody back home, have a solid domestic league, and it doesn't matter if we fill out this World Cup. It's just going to be something that's going to go organically from 2014, and we'll see the positive effects in 2018 and 2022 when Americans and when young Americans realize they can make some money playing soccer in America.
Yeah, no,
before we make this about disrespect, though, let's not act like Michael Bradley's not the first player to lose a position, to lose a spot to an injury. This happens.
No. Well, I don't know that that's exactly what happened with him.
But he got injured. Roma got off to a great start. He had a tough time getting back in consistently in the squad. That's a tale told all over the world.
That is an aspirational club. You could argue that there are still minutes to be had for Michael Bradley. But again,
absolutely,
if you have a chance to be the big dog making big money in your home country where you feel that pride, not home country, but home league, where you feel that pride of helping the league, just like Clint Dempsey obviously does, versus scrapping and fighting, and I don't think there's any question Michael Bradley will work just as hard at TFC as he did at Roma. That's not in question here. Again, this is such a paradigm shifting situation, and like you said, it's so much bigger than Clint Dempsey that you have got to check your thinking at the door. And I'm willing to take whatever happens to Michael Bradley. Let's assume something negative does. He doesn't play well in the World Cup, or somehow this hurts American perceptions in Europe. I will take that hit now for a better MLS in 10 years, because this is the type of thing that makes MLS better in 10 years. 562, you're on the line. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
About the Bradley situation, as a U.S. soccer fan, I'm a little bit disappointed because I think Bradley's taken a step back in his career. I mean, as a U.S. fan, I like to see our top players representing us at a top level. And I love the MLS. I'm an MLS fan, and for Toronto, this is good. Along with Jermaine Defoe and Michael Bradley, I want to see them compete. But as a U.S. fan, I don't know. I just see it weird
I think
it's a step back. Let me clarify this for you real quick. It's a step back in a guy's career when he makes 5 times what he was making before.
That's the thing that floors me.
And you're telling me if the people listening out there, you're telling me if you really, let's say you're career driven, okay, and you know that you've always tried to do the organic, like pure, like you never wanted to sell out. And then Walmart comes to town and offers you 5 times what you're making right now. You're telling me you're not going to Walmart?
Yeah. I'm with you. 219, you're on the air.
Hi, I'm Max from Chicago.
What's up, Max?
I think that, I like these come back to MLS, but I would rather see it as a loan for like 6 months.
Okay.
And then when he goes to the World Cup, if he plays well, he goes back to Roma, then he gets a bigger offer from like a Premier League club. Then he gets to play in a Champions League.
Well, that's that's a difficult spot that Tim Lewicki's put Toronto FC in now, though. That they've paid him so much, and it's for what, 5 or 6 years? If you believe everything's out there, 5 or 6 year contract, somewhere in the $9.5 million transfer fee range. You have a very hard time getting a better selling offer than what you just bought Michael Bradley for, despite however good he is at the World Cup.
Just for a second, and you gave a good analogy there. Imagine somebody backs up a truck of money to your house and drops it on your front lawn and says, "Okay, you have to move to North Dakota to get this money." You're moving to North Dakota. I'm sorry, you're not. TFC is Toronto's a great town, so it's not like he's missing out on anything.
I've been there. It's not that great.
Okay, well, it's a cosmopolitan city. Let's say
I have a hard time believing. Listen, Rome's pretty nice.
No, I'm sure
it ain't $6 million nice.
All right, 407, you're on the line.
This is Michael from Orlando.
What's up, man?
Hey, I don't think anyone's going to blame him for the money side. So, I think as U.S. soccer fans, maybe we set aside the money thing because, man, he's getting paid way, way, way more. How's he going to turn that down? But as fans of the national team, this is terrifying me. I guess my question for you guys is, do you think that a player playing at a team where you would say that everyone around him or a lot of the guys around him are better players is going to pull that player up? Or do you think if the guy is literally the best guy in the team, he's kind of carrying the team and they may pull him down?
Okay, look,
that's the burden of a good player.
These are subjective understandings of how team dynamics work, how athletic dynamics work, right? We can imagine, I could argue the opposite side of that. As a leader, as the guy who's making the most money and is the face of the franchise now in Toronto, Michael Bradley's got to set an example. And in order to do that, he's got to be so far better than anybody else. He's going to lift himself up because he feels the pressure to be. I'm not saying that that's valid. I'm saying that you can look at it either way, and really we don't know.
Let's take a look under the hood and talk about what this is really all about. A year ago, we had 3 players in Europe about or possibly playing Champions League. They were on the precipice of playing Champions League football, with Michael Bradley going to Rome, who's having a great season, could conceivably be in the Champions League next year. You have Josie Altidore, who AZ, he could maybe make a move to a team that was in the Champions League. This is what we were thinking last year, okay? Clint Dempsey makes a move to try to make the Champions League. And now all 3 of those guys are so far away from the highest level, it's not even funny. And that's what it's really about for Americans, is still trying to prove we can do it. And we don't have one guy over there right now that shows that they can.
Okay, here we go. Because you have exactly opened up the topic that I want to get to here. And I'll admit that I have some of the same feelings. I am not immune to that attitude. But let me ask you, because I'm examining all of this now, why do you care?
Because I have an innate need to show that an American can do it, because I'm tired of hearing they can't.
You need
they need to carry the torch for me. And I know that's not fair. I know that's not fair. I can't do it, so they need to, because I'm tired. I need one guy to do it.
And you know what? It will happen. And when it happens, I don't. Okay. Again, the question is why we need the validation. Area code 404. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Daniel from Atlanta.
What's up?
Hey, Jared, be patient. It will happen, you know?
Dude, I'm 37 and I've been on big soccer since 96.
Oh, man, you're crazy.
Look, but
I just wanted to... What's up?
No, go ahead, Daniel. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I just wanted to put in some change on that Michael Bradley thing.
I honestly think it's a good move that Michael Bradley's coming back to the MLS. And I mean, MLS has been growing for years, and I know everybody says that, but if you look at our roster from from the Hex, you've got players from the MLS like Graham Zusi, who scored that header against Panama to get Mexico in. You've got the great Landon Donovan, who's been playing with the MLS since he was a kid.
No, I'm with you.
Well, and then you got Omar Gonzalez. You got Matt Basler, Clarence Goodson. I mean, you've got these great players, and these players are just going to get better. And as long as you get great players coming into the MLS, I don't see it as a step down. I actually see it as a step up for the MLS.
Yeah, look,
the MLS will continue to grow.
We can take it on one side. Thanks for the call, Daniel. We can take it on one side as it's good for MLS, and you can also feel that it is bad for Michael Bradley individually. Now, again, it's his decision. He doesn't feel it's bad, obviously. But what you have to do is take all of your preconceived notions and all of your projections of what you might do if you were in that exact position. And trust me, you don't know what you would do if you were in that position. And toss it out the window, because Gonzalez stayed, Beasler stayed, Dempsey came back, Bradley came back. This stuff is happening. It's happening. It's the evidence right in front of your face.
But here's how a certain segment of the American soccer population is going to spin it. These guys are settling. That's how people are going. Now, but Michael Bradley's settling for $6 million. I get it. I'd settle for $6 million. But when it comes to Zuzi, when it comes to Omar and Beasler, granted, I don't think they're settling. I want to defend that. I don't believe that point, but I know there's a segment that's going to say it. I believe they're investing. They are gambling on their own talent to have a good World Cup. I believe that. The Michael Bradley and Clint Dempsey, you can't say the same thing. They are choosing this to be the place that they want their careers to be right now. Yeah. And listen, it's groundbreaking for MLS.
Yeah.
Is it the right thing? I mean, that's the whole. I don't know.
Time will tell. 410, you're on the air.
Yeah, this is Craig in Baltimore. Great show, by the way.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Our highlight reel for the World Cup has come from one player who's been playing in MLS his entire career. So, when I'm screaming at the TV and crying and throwing beer everywhere, it's going to be about guys in MLS, not people sitting the bench in Rome. So
I can't believe it took 26 minutes for the name Landon Donovan to come up on this show.
Somebody else mentioned him. I mean,
did they?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, you were looking for a Toronto perspective. Our boy Vince is on the line. Vince.
I thought I smelled syrup.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this Vince?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Evening, gentlemen.
Evening. I don't know. Are you confused? Your head is spinning. You don't know where you are. Do you feel drunk? You need to lie down.
There are. So you want to hear the funniest part? I'm so conflicted, despite the fact that I'm not American. I'm Canadian.
You're conflicted because of the same.
Now, Vince, are you a TFC supporter? Are you a Toronto guy?
Yes, I am. I'm not on the same level as I love Everton, but I'm getting there, and I'm starting to find my love for this club.
Vince, doesn't this help? Jermaine Defoe, Michael Bradley, Gilberto, making these.
It does. It really does. I'm not saying that this is a travesty. It's something. When Taylor Tolman broke the news, I didn't expect it. I didn't really understand what he was saying. At first, I was like, "Is this like a Canadian Michael Bradley from like Saskatchewan or something?"
That's awesome.
But Vince, if you could take the U.S. national team part out of it for a second, just as a Toronto supporter, what does this make you feel about Tim Leiweke, direction of the club, and is this enough to get you back on the side of believing in Toronto FC again?
I'm gonna call him up and I'm gonna ask him if he wants to be like the godfather of my children, because
fantastic.
What he's doing is like magical. Yeah. And from a club that no one expected anything, even its own fans just lost faith in it. He's coming. He's doing things. I mean, that's the biggest part. He's bringing D-Row back home, which is a heartwarming thing.
Wah, wah.
He's bringing us Defoe. He's bringing us Michael Bradley. I mean, him and Bezbatchenko. I mean, not to take anything away from him.
Sure.
Both of them. They're doing so much for the club, and it seems like they really want TFC to succeed. And at the end of the day, it's like we don't care about your national aspirations. We want the club to find its way first.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. And I've said that. Despite the fact that MLS has sort of catered to the national team for a very long time, these clubs should be looking out for themselves. It should not matter what's happening on the national team level. They're not the MLS Academy, and I'll let you get to your question in a second, Jared. The job of academies in MLS is to provide players for their senior team or to sell on to make money. It is not to make internationals, to make U.S. national team players.
Vince, I know, Vince, we got a lot of other guys coming in, but I want to ask you one more question before we have to let you go and take some other calls. One more time, as a Toronto fan yourself, do you believe in Ryan Nelson? Is he the right guy for this team? Or listen, he was the guy that's chosen by the guy before Leiweke, but he's chosen to keep him there. Do you believe in Ryan Nelson?
You know what? I do. I do, because above all else, Ryan Nelson, his entire career, he's been a leader. And the young core that we have, bringing in some veterans, I feel like Ryan Nelson is the guy to lead TFC forward. I mean, I'm not expecting TFC to light up the league. I don't expect them to win the Supporters' Shield. I expect them to challenge for a playoff place, and I feel like that Ryan Nelson can achieve that. I truly do believe in him.
I appreciate the call, Vince. Thanks a lot, man. Congratulations. Let's go to Matt. What's up, Matt?
Hey, how's it going? I mean, from an MLS standpoint, this move just seems. I mean, it seems really good. Like, you bring in the best U.S. men's national team player right now. But I mean, honestly, I'm a huge U.S. national team fan, and I love seeing Americans abroad. And I'm 18. I play soccer too, and it's just it seemed like just a year ago you could just you'd have an incentive maybe as a kid to just wake up and. You could see Dempsey playing for Tottenham. You could see Bradley starting for Roma. You'd see Howard, for Everton, and maybe Josie's still with Isaiah just tearing it up. And I'm not saying it's like you don't have an incentive, but it's like you just now in the EPL, it seems like, or Serie A, and it's like you just don't have this this go-to guy to look at, and it's like you don't. You still have Howard who's doing great right now, but it's like you just don't have this top flight American that, not only Americans respect, but you have these fans abroad that are respecting them. And it's just like, as a kid, you just had somebody to look up like that. And it was just really cool just seeing, wow, Bradley is playing for this great team, or Dempsey's playing for them.
All right, man. Calm down. Take a breath. Take a breath. No, it's okay. It's okay. Take a breath.
I love there's a passionate young 18-year-old that's this into it.
And the fact that he's 18 I like that because I can kind of talk to a couple points here. One, Jared, now you and I have talked about this several times, sort of American soccer fans evolving past the Yanks abroad fascination. Now, there's a lot of people in this country who have their club and they root for their overseas club and they use Britishisms all the time and they're very weird people. And I that's fine. That's one way to go about it. As a soccer fan, Matt, don't you think you should get up on a Saturday morning and watch the Premier League because it's really good soccer? It doesn't really matter who's playing because that's what I do. I watch for the pageantry. Now, look,
that's not going to change whether I watch, the EPL or not, or I watch these top flight leagues or not. But it's just, seeing the Americans is like the cherry on the top. It's like not only do you get to see, AC Milan versus Roma or Juventus versus Roma or something. But you also get to see Bradley in the starting lineup or something like that. And it's just, it was just kind of like cool seeing that.
I got you. Let me flip it around one more time and ask you about this. Okay. Those guys were setting an example. They were doing it on big stages. And obviously the Premier League and Serie A, those are sort of some of the biggest leagues in the world. I get that. But don't you think that there's some value to, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, some value to Michael Bradley setting an example by being here at 26 years old? And as an 18-year-old, if you were on the verge of a professional career and you see Michael Bradley playing for TFC, doesn't that kind of go, wow, man, I can do this in MLS. I don't have to go to Europe. Now, I think Europe will always be a draw.
Right.
But it actually benefits American soccer to have it be less of a draw. Right?
Right. I get you with that. And for me, I'm an MLS fan too, and I think it's a great move. But I live in Miami, and everybody here is either they're a Barca fan, they're a Real Madrid fan, there's Juventus. Everybody likes that top team. And then if you talk to them, everybody's the MLS is garbage. Like it's just obviously just a naive opinion, and MLS is garbage, MLS is this, MLS is that.
Yeah, but couldn't they name 5 people in MLS?
And look, but again, Michael Bradley.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, they probably don't know anybody in MLS. Like, that's their just naive opinion about it. And I mean, like, for people who consistently watch MLS, they know that it's just not a bunch of, Saturday pub league players and college guys just running around. That it's a highly respected league. Like if you actually follow it, but it's just made from the average maybe person my age standpoint, they just don't see it that way.
I want to go back to a point that you made on there with him, Jason, about waking up on Saturday and watching. You do it because it's the league to watch, and it's the style of play, and it's the level of play to watch.
I like soccer.
But here's my thing: I have never slept and got more things done on Saturday mornings than this season because I just don't care. It's like I have not watched one NFL game this year because I'm not playing fantasy football. I have no rooted interest. I have no vested interest.
And I think that the blood that pumps through so many American veins is rich with that patriotic feeling. And I get that. I'm a military brat, man. I get mad when people don't stand still for the national anthem. I'm with you on wanting Americans to succeed. I just don't know that Americans in Europe is the end all be all that some people make it out to be. I think for a long time it was a fascination and we needed the validation. I don't feel like I need validation from European. If an American's good enough to play in Europe and he wants to play in Europe, he'll go play in Europe. I think we're kind of past this like breaking of the glass ceiling, so to speak. I know there's a Champions League out there, but we've had
breaking glass ceilings. I mean, I think a very underwhelming week for the Bradley clan.
Okay, fine. Area code 518, you're on the air.
Yes, hi. This is Tim from Amsterdam.
What's up, Tim? You're up late, man.
Yeah.
Or up early.
Well, up early, yeah, sure. What's on your mind, Tim?
I'm a big Red Bulls fan, and with another big U.S. star coming back to MLS, what do you think about maybe Josie coming back to the Red Bulls?
Some people have been kind of throwing that out as a notion, a possibility. I mean,
unlike Michael Bradley, it looks like a failure if Josie comes back.
Well, that's true. Thanks for the call, Tim. I got to move on. Tons of people getting in. I haven't even given the phone number out tonight. Here's the thing I'll say about the possibility of Josie coming back and playing for the Rebels or whatever. I can't say it's impossible. 2 weeks ago, or even, I guess Clint Dempsey should have changed my thinking, and it didn't. 2 weeks ago, I would have said it impossible. Josie Altidore back in MLS right now, impossible. It's not impossible.
Is anyone backing up a truck as big as they did for Michael Bradley for Josie Altidore? No way, right?
No, not as big, but he would make significantly more cash than he would have before. 209, you're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Phil out in the Bay Area.
What's up, Phil?
Hey, I'm sorry, I tuned in a little bit late, but I was wondering, do you think Tim Leiweke came through on his promise to make the biggest signing in MLS?
There's something I wanted to address. Now, he said it in November. He said they would get it done in about a month. So he
said the history of MLS, correct?
Yeah, he came in late. But
I so lucky.
I think he pulled it off. I think the man had.
But I think he made that promise. He's like the writers of Lost. He keeps setting these things up and has no idea how he's going to end it. And then this thing fell in his lap. I'm not saying he didn't work for it. I'm sure he worked for it. But come on, this move was not there a month ago.
Okay.
And credit to Tim Leiweke, because just like the Beckham saga, he made a move at the right time. Because a month later, Beckham wouldn't have signed with LA because all of a sudden he got hot and was playing again. He had there's a good niche of convincing the right guys at the right times and landing opportunities.
But that's skill. That's not luck. That's an ability to know when to strike.
When he was talking about it, he was talking about Samuel Eto'o. We all know that he was talking about Samuel Eto'o when he said
I don't think you can assume that. I don't think you can look.
But you can assume he was talking about Bradley.
No. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is, and
I'm not right.
I guess you can call it you can call it luck if you want to. I'm just saying that if the two things that we know are that he said it and Michael Bradley is now with TFC, we have to put those things together and
I'm
say
not saying it's luck. I'm saying it's serendipity. It just happened. It happened for him.
You just pulled out your thesaurus and used another word for luck.
I can't know what serendipity is.
Oh, that's not what I. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. 843, you're on the air.
Is it right?
Yes, you did. 843.
Yeah, it might be an odd question, but do you think he's being overpaid at $6.5 million a year?
It came up earlier. I think there's some argument to that, but again, you have to overpay to get these guys to come back in their.
Is Dempsey overpaid?
Yes.
Dempsey's overpaid?
Yes, Dempsey's overpaid. And again, I'm okay
for a face of a club, and perhaps face of a league.
Okay, look here.
Is he overpaid?
Let me say it. Let me kind of change the terms. Neither one of them is overpaid because that's what this market gave them or valued them at. So in pure economic terms, they're not overpaid because you're only worth what the market will pay you. But if you sort of took a poll of I don't know 10 or 12 European clubs and said how much is Michael Bradley's salary, you would come in under what he's making at TFC. But
again, well above what he was making at Roma, I believe.
Yes, I believe it. 301, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Samir from Bethesda.
What's up, man?
I was just thinking, like, I feel that you could have either a choice of a good league or a good national team. You look at like Brazil, they got legendary national team. Argentina, legendary national team. League, no one really cares.
Okay, look, I think you're generalizing a little bit. I mean,
the Brazilian players, you know where they came from, right? All these great Brazilian players came out of that league for the most part. Some of them get signed as real small youth players, but a lot of these guys come from their league. Now, I'm not gonna say they play defense. It's very Dutch-like in that regard.
Right. Well, there is financial dysfunction in Brazil, and Argentina's got Argentina but Germany has a fantastic league and a damn good national team. Italy has a strong league and a pretty damn good national team. There are other countries who have managed to make it work. You look at Mexico. Mexico's got a vibrant league, and when they are playing together and not being a bunch of whatevers, they can be a very good national team. I don't think that you have to have one or the other.
Well, don't you think Germany is just basically Bayern Munich plus Royce, and Spain is just Barcelona, Real Madrid?
No.
There's a little bit of that. Don't act like there's not a little bit of that. There's a little bit of that.
No, there's sure. Those big clubs have sucked up, hoovered up a lot of the talent. I get that. But there is still talent throughout. And a lot of those players who end up at Bayern Munich or Dortmund or Barcelona or Real Madrid, they start maybe not Barcelona, but they start other places. And then those teams say, okay, now we want to grab this kid from Valencia. We want to grab this kid from Gladbach. That's happening. So it's a vibrancy throughout.
Is Kansas City that team for MLS and the U.S. national team?
Could be. I don't think they're going to dominate the league either like any of those teams because it's a different kind of league. Let's see. I missed that one. Let's go for 604. You're on the air.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I just wanted to try and counter this national team argument. People talk about this dream world where American players are starting every week for these top European sides, but the reality right now is Bradley has two choices. He can rot at Sunderland, or he can stay at Roma, come on as a late sub, make a couple of touches and pass the ball 6 yards. Or he can come home, get playing time, and hopefully build chemistry with other MLS players and other potential.
I think you may oversimplify, and we don't know what other offers are on the table for Bradley. I'm sure there was something place he could play.
There may have been another, and Fulham has been mentioned, and Cardiff has been mentioned. I don't know; those are good places for him, but those have been mentioned. But I do like the idea that look, Michael Bradley at TFC is going to be given significantly more responsibility than Michael Bradley at Roma. Correct? In terms of the setup and what he's asked to do.
It is his team.
Is it possible that having that greater responsibility, which may be closer to what he's asked to do in the U.S. national team, could actually benefit him in terms of form for the national team?
It can benefit him in terms of leadership for sure.
Well, I'm talking about the kind of passes because he said comes on for Roma, plays 10 minutes, plays 15 minutes, and sometimes starts, makes a bunch of 6-yard passes, and that's his shit.
The argument is absolutely valid if you believe his only two options were Roma or here.
Okay, you're right. That kind of
he could go to Cardiff and probably walk in and start in that team and have plenty of times and plenty of touches at a higher level, but probably be playing for a poor team.
Okay, before we go to the next call, let me just say the phone lines are absolutely demolished right now. If you don't get in, if I miss you, keep trying. If you don't want to give up, we need
a list of Canadian area codes so we know which ones to answer.
Well, it's 301 or 310 is on the air.
Oh, that's LA, baby.
How's it going?
What's up, man? Who's this?
This is Will.
What's up, Will?
My comment is one that will probably get my head chopped off, but considering the near miss on even making it to the Hex in 2012 and the very few appearances by Bradley this year for the national team and lackluster showing at Roma, shouldn't he be ecstatic about this deal.
Okay,
He's really. I
think
he's on the verge of fighting for a starting position with the national team at this point. If we were being completely honest.
Whoa! Ejected. I'm sorry. That is out of bounds. Insane. First of all, to call Michael Bradley's period at Roma lackluster is
when he's on the field, he's played very well. It's just a matter of not making the field.
It's ridiculous to call it lackluster based on his play, and to say he's on the verge of having to fight for his start. Come on now. Let's be realistic. At least 678. You're on the air.
I think someone wanted to have their name mentioned.
678. What's up?
What's up, guys? This is Mike from Atlanta.
What's up, Mike?
I just want to say, some caller I've been kind of trying to call in for like 20 minutes. Some guys stole my thunder. Kind of like the Landon Donovan trumps every single, because you're in MLS, you're not going to play well for you USA card. Or USA.
Yeah, look, and Mike, I think that what Landon Donovan speaks to. Look, not everybody is going to be Landon Donovan, which means that not every player who sticks around in MLS or decides to come back is going to maximize their potential here. But that doesn't. Right. That also means that not every player who goes to Europe is going to be that just better because they're in Europe. I mean, I think that people lose that sometimes. That there's a possibility that you can be just as good as your max potential in MLS as if you went to Europe. Do we believe? And look, I think it's wrong and unfair to say Landon Donovan did not meet his potential based on everything he has done in MLS and for the U.S. men's national team. Don't you think it's completely unfair?
I think it's fair. What Landon Donovan has done, though, is give a blueprint for success if you can match it for both contributing to the national team, being a star for the national team, and doing it where you wanted to do it.
Yeah, I think
but I'm not going to say everyone can copy it, but it's there.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Another thing is, if you look at the personality of these guys, Michael Bradley is probably one of the hardest working people in American soccer, and that's not going to change just because he's at MLS. If a guy like, Brett Shea came back to MLS, I would fear, my fear would be that he would just kind of take it easy because he's been here, he's done that, and he's, young and kind of immature. But Michael Bradley is, a pro's pro. He's going to work hard every single day. And just because he's in MLS, it does not mean that's going to change. So I don't expect a dip in form at all. If anything, like you were saying, it's closer to what he would have on the national team, because the national team, he takes every ball and he's the guy who gets into the offense. And at Toronto, it sounds exactly what he's going to do too. So, I'll hang up. I know you guys got a lot of callers, but thanks for taking my call, and good show.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. There's something happening right now on Twitter. Apparently, Juan Agadello sent out a tweet that may or may not exist anymore that says, "And still players in MLS making $39,000 a year living off peanut butter and jelly." And he's got a point. I'm not going to sweep that under the rug. That is something that MLS has to address. But let's remember that in order to get to the point where you can justify spending more and raising the minimum salary to, I don't know, what's fair, $100,000, $150,000. I mean, whatever.
Sure, I take it.
Whatever arbitrary number it is, you have to grow the league, and signings like Bradley help with that, and Clint Dempsey as well. And I'm not, again, they need to address that. And I think the CBA is going to be very interesting. Naveed's on the line. Naveed, our opening voicemail. What's up?
Thanks. Thanks for playing that. I just wanted to add, because I totally blanked when I sent that voicemail. Canadians, I'm kind of mad at you, Matt. I'm mad at Vince. That's okay. Anyways, what I was going to really point out was the kid who talked from Miami that talked about no one's on fire or whatever. At least you can wake up and see Johansson catch on fire.
It's true.
Can you really, though? Can you? Do you know where to watch him?
Oh, ESPN3 doesn't have the Dutch league anymore, do they?
Once again, though, you have to go find a stream. I feel like I'm in 2005, having to find streams to watch play. There's a number of great leagues being televised every week, and we don't have American outfield players in them, and that's what's frustrating me about this.
Yeah. You got anything else, David?
I wanted to say two more points really quick. First of all, at least MLS isn't being watered down with these awesome new players coming in back home. And also, congratulations on your first day with the fundraiser, 5,000 first day.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Naveed. Appreciate it. That's the Soccer Morning Indiegogo campaign, which It doesn't really have a whole lot to do with this show, except for I'm on both shows and Jared's supportive and blah blah blah. But
Not that supportive.
Not that supportive. Okay, Jared really doesn't care at all. 619, who's on? You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, what's up, guys? Enrique, officially the best soccer show. Hey, basically, the end of this discussion will be who's going to be having playing time, because this is, I don't see nobody's talking about, this is the World Cup year. So Dempsey already made the move. Bradley made the move. They're going to get playing time if they stay healthy. If I'm an MLS player and I'm going to be playing against Bradley, my game's going to step up. There's no doubt about it. So this year, the World Cup year, and it's going to be very intense, very tactical. Players are going to be like, well, all these guys are back here, so that means maybe Klinsmann, where we have the camp here at StubHub, and these guys know that, hey, all these new guys are coming up. So maybe we had Bagby and all these other guys. So I think playing time, we just got to face the fact we don't have this star that's going to start for Champions League. We're on our way. It's going to take time.
I think it's a numbers thing.
Enrique, not to put potholes, take pot shots at your argument there, but Clint Dempsey saw plenty of playing time last season. What happened there?
It's true. I understand. But
it changed. Look, his situation changed. Don't act like it didn't. Don't act like Spurs didn't spend £70 million in the summer and significantly change the look of that squad. And who knows how?
Enrique's argument was coming home and getting minutes is great to get guys' form in shape. Clint Dempsey got plenty of minutes. I didn't see form.
You're talking about Seattle. I'm not going to judge Clint Dempsey on that sort of aborted season in Seattle, the way that he came into. I'm not. I mean, let's see what he does on loan. I don't know if he's completely lost.
Robbie Keane came in the middle of a freaking season and looked great his first year.
Thanks for the call, Enrique. Well, yeah, but then again, the Sounders were bad during that run too. You want to put that on Clint Dempsey's shoulders? Fine, I guess.
Put that on Ziggy Schmidt's shoulders, to be honest with you. I think he had way too much talent not to see fruition on any of it.
Yeah, 951, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Giovanni.
What's up, Giovanni?
No, man, I'm just calling to express my frustration and anger over here about the Bradley Mike coming to Toronto. Just upset, man. I mean, if I could had a phone on me and I had his number, I'd call him up right now and ask him why. I just want to know why, man.
Giovanni,
He's got 6 million deep reasons why.
Why are you upset?
Why am I upset? Because I want our players to face stiff competition, man. You cannot become a better player if you don't face tough competition. I'm not saying MLS doesn't have intense competition. What I am saying is being at Roma, you have world-class competition. You have extremely close competition. Now, I just want to say that if MLS was to help Bradley, they need to step up their game on grabbing some world-class players.
Okay, fair enough. Again, I think that's a valid argument. Thanks for calling, Giovanni. It is getting crazy in here. I can't really counter that he won't face world-class competition. That's not going to happen. Now, he will face a more consistent challenge week to week in MLS than he would in Serie A.
Here's another situation, a hypothetical. Let's say he comes back, plays for MLS, and next winter he gets a loan move to someplace like, I don't know, let's say Arsenal, Man City. He gets a loan move someplace. That's a little bit overshooting there. But let's say Tottenham takes him on loan next summer or next winter. Is that enough for the average American fan to say, oh, but he's still getting great. He's trying to improve himself and establish himself at a higher level, but it's just through loan moves.
But again, the reason Giovanni brought that up is because he wants him tested ahead of the World Cup, right? So he can be the best U.S. men's national team player possible. That's why
in 5 months I care about games more than I care level of play. To be honest with you, 5 months.
And I'm with you. I'm completely with you. But that seems to be a lot of people seem to be of the opinion that
that's also a short term. That's a short term kind of thing. In long term, we talk about Michael Bradley. And it's important to talk long term with Michael Bradley because he is so young still, and he has such a long career ahead of him. As long as he stays healthy, is it the right move for a guy this age? You know, that's kind of the other part of this is that with Clint Dempsey, I kind of get it. Yeah, family guy, 31.
Again, I think what we're missing, we continually miss, and we continually fail to do is ask ourselves, why is it even a question whether or not it's a good move? Like you haven't even framed. People don't even frame what is good or bad about it. It's just this assumption that Europe is always better. We just start from that base knowledge that Europe is always better, except we don't take into account
it depends what you mean by better. Level of play, it's better.
Again, it depends
on personal life. Maybe not.
It depends on where you are, how much you're playing. There's so many things to take into account.
Roma is better than Toronto FC. I can let you know that.
They're a better team. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I agree with that. But that does not mean that Roma's situation is better for Michael Bradley than the TFC situation. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying
there's a reverse national or reverse patriotism thing that we don't talk about that often when we talk about this. Is the patriotism and the fire that we have to see a Michael Bradley make it to in the Champions League, or a Clint Dempsey to make it in the Champions League? Is there another side of that for the players? Like maybe it's more important for them to have MLS make it. I mean, we don't live in that world that they in. There could be.
Of course it is. Look, well, while we have a phone call on the air. I'll get to you in a second. But while we're all sitting comfortably on our couches, flipping through our channels on a Saturday morning to find the European competition and making judgments about what players should do, casting out all of these, flippant ideas about this black and white world of what is good or bad in soccer, these players are dealing with a lot of other things. They've got families. That's a factor. They also have a pride in wanting to help the league. I mean, Clint Dempsey talked about it. It's a legitimate thing. Just because you think Clint Dempsey serves American soccer better at Tottenham doesn't mean he feels that way. 865, you're on the air.
Hey, Jonathan from Tennessee.
What's up?
I was wondering your guys' thoughts on this. I think it was Alexi Lawless wrote something a while ago, almost about like our American neuroticism. Like we want to be more English with our fanhood. We want to be more English. We want our style to be more whoever. And if we get a player that makes it, then all of a sudden we're validated.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What do you guys think about that?
It's 100% true. It's 100%. There is zero doubt that there is thanks for the call, and a serious inferiority complex running through American soccer. And Michael Bradley leaving Roma and going to TFC strikes right at it and hits people right where they hurt when it comes to that. If you flat out admitted it, I think you're very aware that you have one, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I have a huge complex. I mean, it's ridiculous. If my soccer persona could drive a car, it would be a red Porsche. I'm trying to make up for something. I am trying desperately to compensate for the fact I don't feel at heart that Americans are good enough.
Okay. I have to get that. I forgot whatever. 646, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Raph. How you doing, man?
What's up, Raph?
Hey, listen. Look, for me, I'm not going to be one of those guys that's going to suggest that MLS is the best league in the world.
No.
But at some point, fans actually have to start believing that MLS is a viable option for our own national team players. Because otherwise, what the hell are we doing here?
Look, again, I don't know, Ref. I think part of this is that the players have already convinced themselves of this. There's evidence of it.
Right.
It's smacking you right in the face. The fans are still slow to catch up. We haven't.
I see that.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it doesn't. Here's the thing. It doesn't even matter if you can't grasp the notion that MLS is an aspiring league that's going to spend some money on some players and give Americans another options. It's already happening. It's happening right now in front of you. So either accept it, or, you know what? I don't know. Go find another league to watch. The NASL doesn't have a salary cap. That's a problem.
By the way, can I just throw this in there real quick?
Sure they call it.
No, I agree with that, man.
All right,
yeah, no worries.
Can I throw this in there real quick? I just love that Dunny came out with this one. Watching guys complain on Twitter about MLS and money. Love to see them in the late 90s with no soccer-specific stadium or training fields.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned the training facilities. Have you seen TFC's training facilities? Go to their website. Look at their photos. That thing is legit. It is legit.
Is it one of those indoor ones where they have like a roof on it because it's winter and stuff there?
They have dumped some serious cash into that place, and I think that that's part of it too. MLS is more professional and presents a better image than it ever has before. Michael Bradley.
Let me ask you this question, okay? It used to be a two-horse race in terms of prestige in MLS. It was LA and New York. Seattle throws the gauntlet in there. Now you would probably say there's a third team in terms of the prestige, the crown, the jewels of MLS. Is Toronto FC a jewel of MLS?
Toronto FC was always going to be one of these teams before they screwed it up 12 times. I think that we especially when they entered the league in 2007 and you saw the crowds and you saw the response in Toronto and you saw like they had MLSE who owns the Leafs and the Argonauts and all this stuff. You could see the potential there. They just didn't flex their muscle. They didn't do it the right way. They hired Mo Johnston for crap's sake. So now they've got Tim Leiweke, who Tim Leiweke has no
nonsense.
No nonsense. He has no limits on what he thinks is possible. I mean, you need somebody like that at a club that has essentially a blank checkbook. You could do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. All right, we're running out of time in our normal hour. I think we're going to just go over a couple of minutes here to wrap things up. The phone calls have stopped for the time being. I miss Solomon. Solomon, I missed you like 12 times. I apologize. If you want to get back in, I'll make sure to get to you. But I did want to sort of, put a bow on all of this. Today has been a crazy day. We have yet to mention, I think Jurgen Klinsmann's name came out once from a caller. We have yet to mention what Klinsmann's going to make of this. The discussion was that he would not be happy with Clint Dempsey, who is going on loan, by the way, so that helps, I guess.
Let's be honest here. The U.S. pool, while deeper than ever before, is not nearly at the shallowest end. Is not nearly strong enough to not withstand. Michael Bradley can do whatever he wants. He can go wherever he wants. That's how good he is in comparison to the rest of the pool and the next step down.
Well, that's an interesting thought, and for Dempsey too, thinking that
who's pushing him.
Well, I guess thinking that they know they are comfortable with their position in the national team, and that gives them a little bit more freedom to make this decision. I suppose that's part of it. I mean, I saw a crazy theory. Dan Loney on Big Soccer had a crazy theory that he thinks that Donovan's going to get dropped, which I find completely impossible. But, if Klinsmann wants to make a point, he can make a point. He's shown it in the past. Will he do it ahead of the World Cup or in the World? I don't think he'll do that. And that means that Michael Bradley and Clint Dempsey can say, I'm taking this big pile of cash to go back and play in MLS.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Landon Dom's a bit of a trailblazer here. I mean, these guys are following a blueprint that he set up, and I think they owe a lot to him. I'm kind of glad he got an extension and getting paid because Landon was doing it. Don't get me wrong, Landon was never hurting for money. He was never hurting for money, but 6.5 and like Dempsey's money, I mean, he's a big part of that.
Yeah.
Huge part of that.
You got anything else you need to say? Again, I apologize to Solomon. I missed him.
It's got to be tough for NASL to see $6.5 million out there, and they're trading room keys for players.
Yeah, we didn't get to touch on any of the other fun stories happening because I knew it was going to be a one-note show. I knew it was, but we'll be back on Sunday. Let's squeeze in one more call. 770, you're on the air.
Hey guys, I was just taking a little bit different perspective on this. I think Michael Bradley's he's kind of taken more control of some of the variables leading up to the World Cup as far as playing time, and he's going to have kind of a little bit more control of where he's at form-wise in the middle of the season as compared to the end of the season in Italy, and think that might be a more positive effect on the situation.
I mean, I certainly imagine that he can think of it that way. Thanks for the call. I mean, again, this is. I mean, clearly it's a personal decision. That's an obvious statement.
Yeah.
But Michael, of all of the guys that could make this move, Michael Bradley's the one I trust the most. He is.
Has he ever really set a foot wrong? Has he ever, outside of one loan spell to the EPL, I don't think Michael Bradley's ever set a foot wrong.
That was not his fault. He should have been playing for Villa, and they screwed that up. And again, I think it's just another sort of example of what Michael Bradley's had to deal with. And he goes to Villa. He could have helped that team. And they overlook him, and they say, well, we're not going to play you. Please tell me Michael Bradley was not good enough to help Villa. You're insane if you think
By the way, Michael Bradley technically still playing abroad.
Technically still playing abroad. Right. All right, that's gonna do it. Thanks for listening or watching, whichever one you did. Fantastic show. Love it when we just get calls on top of calls. We're back on Sunday.
If you didn't get in, send an email, send a voicemail. We'll get you in on the next show.
Yeah, we'll be back on Sunday night. I think we're going 8 o'clock Eastern on Sunday nights. We'll probably still talk a little bit of Bradley because I'm sure some more details will come out. It's not even official yet. I mean, let's remember that he still hasn't officially signed anything based on what I've heard. So we'll get some more details and we'll cover some of the other big stories. All right, that's gonna do it. We're good. We're good. Nothing else. iTunes, ratings and reviews. Follow Jay Rodius on Twitter. What else? No, that's it.
Davis JSN on Twitter.
All right, and listen to Soccer Morning and go to soccermorning.com. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
It's incredible! Danger Zone! 1.21 gigawatts! He likes it! He likes it!
Ray Rodius.